Race, it's such a huge issue now almost everywhere in the West. Here too, this tribalism, it's so divisive. In America, worse, race riots even. And there's Joe Biden, of course, saying if you vote for Donald Trump, you ain't black, putting people in their boxes like that. But over the last few years, we've actually seen something very interesting challenging that. It's the rise of black conservatives, like here, our own Jacinta Price, fabulous woman. Until now in America, though, anything like 90% of black voters have voted Democrat left in presidential ballots. But now a number of black women are running for Congress as Republicans, and Kim Klacik is one of them. And it's just put out a video that has gone viral, more than 6 million views so far. Walk with her through Baltimore, she says. Unfortunately, I've only got time to show you about half of it.
I'm Kim Klacik. This is Baltimore. The real Baltimore. This is the reality for black people every single day. Crumbling infrastructure, abandoned homes, poverty, and crime. Baltimore has been run by the Democrat Party for 53 years. What is the result of their decades of leadership? Baltimore is one of the top 5 most dangerous cities in America. Do you believe Black Lives Matter? I do. The vast majority of crime in Baltimore is perpetrated against black people, who make up 60% of the population. So why don't we care about our communities? The Democrat Party have betrayed the black people of Baltimore. If the politicians walked the streets like I do, they would see exactly how their policies and corruption affects us. But they don't want to see it. They don't want you to see this. Go to any Baltimore neighborhood and ask this question. Do you want to defund the police?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
I had 3 sons killed in Baltimore City. And I think if we defund the police office, it's going to be worse than that. So no, I'm opposed to that.
Democrats think black people are stupid. They think they can control us forever. That we won't demand better and that we'll keep voting for them forever, despite what they've done to our families and our communities. Are they right? I'm Kim Klacik, and I'm running for Congress because I actually care about black lives. All black lives matter. Our communities matter. Baltimore matters. And black people don't have to vote Democrat.
Now, joining me is Barbara Heineback, who's not a Republican, but a former press officer to the wife of the then Democrat President, Jimmy Carter, before becoming a strategic consultant to another Democrat President, Bill Clinton. Barbara, look, thank you for joining me. I'm not going to, assume that you're a conservative and a Republican. You're a Democrat, of course. But that ad, is it striking any chord at all with you?
Absolutely. I'm an independent, and I've been for a long time. For many years, I did vote more toward the Democratic Party than on the right. But I drove through Baltimore about 7 years ago. I got off the highway, I got lost, and I went through just where Kim was walking just now, or an area that looked just like that. And I was scared out of my wits. I called my brother. I said, if you're the last person I ever talked to, this is where I am. And I feel like I'm in the middle of a war zone. And everything was just boarded up for many, many, many blocks. And I said, just look calm, keep driving. For God's sake, don't run out of gas here, until I was back and I saw people in the population again. So, and that's not the only city. Last weekend, we had so many deaths in major cities because of the demonstrations of Black Lives Matter group. And they're not as friendly and peaceful as mainstream media wants us to believe. I've written an article, I've been trying to get it published now for a couple of months, that speaks about this. But I guess because of the cancel culture, or we used to call it counterculture, it's cancel now. I'm not saying those wonderful, beautiful, fuzzy words about the cities of America, that they don't want the truth to come out, especially now in an election year.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we have had the Democrats, and maybe not just the Democrats, but the media left as well, treating black voters as of a type. And if you don't subscribe to that, you're just, as Joe Biden said, you ain't black.
You're black. If you say
we are
something
seeing, I think, the rise of black conservatives, aren't we? People like Thomas Sowell, Clarence Thomas, they've been around for many years, I know that. But you've got people like Candace Owens and now young black voices popping up.
Exactly. What the Democrats are very concerned about now, which is the reason that they want to have open borders, by the way, that's not accidental, to get some new blood in that they can try to train up. The comment that Joe Biden made a couple of weeks ago indicating that the Black community in America is a monolith. It's just one-minded. When he made the comment, not just that if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black, but he said that Blacks are a monolith, whereas the Latinos are more of a diverse community. Well, there's a possibility if Trump pulls 12 to 14% of the Black votes, and he'll get a decent amount from the young, educated Blacks. And if he pulls 35 to 45% of the Latino vote, Donald Trump would have a shot at another 4 years. You know, who knows? But so much of the language has been, I'm so sick of the race baiting. That's all we heard last night. It was COVID-19 and race baiting on day one in the, at the convention. Are we going to talk about that? Because I did want to get a couple of shots in on that.
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Keep going.
Well, yeah. Well, I've been to some of these conventions, and if you're into politics, and I'm a political junkie, obviously, you look forward. It's political Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl comes once a year, whereas we only get it once every 4 years at this level. And it's an opportunity for America to see who the leaders are in politics, and you be in this huge arena and you see people sitting around, walking around, and the different states are really negotiating and figuring out the policies they want, talking about propositions and all of this, and not just the leadership, but the superstars. That's who you wanted to hear from, and to start figuring out over the next 2.5 months, who will our next president be to take us forward? We missed a lot of that last night. I felt it was fairly dry. And interestingly enough, the focus was all anti-Trump, just get rid of Trump. And that was the job, I think, of Michelle and some of the others, Michelle Obama. But they came with no portfolio. It was an empty suit. There was nothing said last night that was future thinking or hope or some idea of what their plans were. So that was, I was really taken aback by the fact that they're still struggling to find a cause, it appeared to me. And then tonight, we heard from Clinton today, and he, the big dog, he did pretty well from doing it from home because he gets his vibe from people and being in a huge arena. I don't think I've ever heard a more motivating speech than the one he gave in 2012 in Charlotte, North Carolina. And his speech was even better than Obama's, and Obama is also a great speaker. The other good speech I thought we heard today was from Jill Biden, and she really finally put a little compassion around the convention.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Barbara, because I thought, here's a human being. The rest were like, on-cue automatons, like you say, the empty suit. At least she seemed to, I don't know whether it's true, but she faked it, but it was sincere, and I thought a warm person, good on her.
A warm person, and the other thing that she did was she showed how old politics could work across the aisle. And when you saw that, it was quite beautiful when you saw John McCain and, Joe Biden in the backyard having a barbecue. But they go back to the Congress and then they can duke it out.
Yeah, look, that's all very well. But, of course, if Trump stuck out his hand, he'd get a punch in the jaw in return. Exactly. So we don't know. We'll see. Barbara Heineback, it was a pleasure again to speak to you.
And you. Thanks, Andrew.